We just had a strong 6.2 magnitude earthquake striking Madeira Island shield volcano off the Canary Islands in the Atlantic. This whole area is volcanic. As you can see here, and to the southeast, all those islands there off the coast of Morocco, of Africa, are all volcanic islands. And let's take a look at this because this is a very strong earthquake. GS here has it marked at 5.2, whereas the European Geological Survey has it at 6.2 magnitude 6.2 hitting off Madeira Island. And this is it right here. The very strange thing today is that we had another major quake north of the Tropic of Cancer. It's not just this one in Madeira, we also had this one here at 5.5. Now, I don't know what the Europeans would say about this, but anyway, USGS has it at 5.5, and this is, we'll take a look at that in another video, because that has to do with the volcanic area, the Baja area, which also has the plume that feeds the west coast high threat volcanoes, and also the plume, it's the same plume that feeds Yellowstone. That's a pretty big earthquake, 5.5, and we'll see that thousands of people, I think almost 5,000 reported USGS feeling it, and it must have been felt in San Diego and probably even Los Angeles. But let's take a look at this, and going closer, it's on the African plate. This is, of course, volcanic, and it's a shield volcano right there. The Azores recently, right here, those are other volcanic islands. A couple of weeks ago, they had strong quakes as well. We had strong quakes in this area as well, in Turkey, a couple of weeks ago. And we saw that the pressure was going west. And today we even had an earthquake here in Greece, 4.3. But this is all volcanic, as we know. This is volcanic subduction of the African plate underneath the Eurasian plate. This is the African plate extending all the way to the mid-Atlantic ridge. And this is, of course, the North American plate. The Azores are right here. Let's go in a little bit towards this section, as you can see on the map. And I would not be surprised if we have another major quake in the Azores. And we saw pressure after the Azores quake. We saw pressure on the east coast as well. And these are the 30 submarine volcanoes of the east coast. And you can see they're pointing towards Maine and this area here. Maine has 5 volcanoes in 4 of them in a 100 mile distance from each other. Okay, so this is where we are today. And we're not going to take this as 5.2, this is 6.2, as according to the CSEM, the European agency. Now, the earthquake recorded at a depth of 2 kilometers, 1.2 miles. And this is it right here. Some people reported feeling it. And looking at the map, this is where it is. And we'll take a look at the Atlas Mountains. Okay, Atlas Mountains, as you can see, right here. And there's a fault line right here. We saw activity here a couple of weeks and months ago as well. This is it right here, the fault line. And let's put in the fault line so you can see them much better. Right there, right here, okay. Going through Gibraltar. Okay, and we even had a couple of months ago, Marseille, France, we had that very big quake of 4.7 that cracked half of France. Of course, that was around here, but let's not forget that it's in the area of the Alps. And a couple of videos back, this thing here right here, this valley right here, that's a supervolcano. That's a supervolcano, an ancient supervolcano, and they were able to find out the workings of a supervolcano because of the fact that a lot of that magma chamber was emptied and cracked up almost vertically. So this area of Torino and Milan Those cities are in the caldera valley of that supervolcano right there. Okay, so this is what we're looking at right now. I'm going to volcano oh no, let's go to the depths. Sorry. Oh, get this off. Okay, the depths of that is 4.7 kilometers, about 1.2 miles actually. Okay, and going back to the volcano discovery concerning the Madeira Island. Right, this is right here. This is the whole thing is a stratovolcano, about 6,000 feet height. The Azores, and this is our map. And that's the island, it's part of the Azores. It says here Azores. Well, the Azores are actually here. Okay, but they belong to Portugal anyway. These are the Canary Islands. Now that I'm looking at it, this is very, very circular. You think this is where Atlantis was? Look at that circular. Okay, who knows? I guess it's Atlantis, Atlantic. Okay, this is it. This is our area. Going back to they're all volcanic. And going back to this, Azores Madeira, this is where we have the 6.2. Madeira Island is the emergent top of a massive shield volcano rising about 6 kilometers from the floor. That's about 3-something miles off the Atlantic Ocean floor, and forms the largest island of the Madeira archipelago, about 90 kilometers in length. Construction of the volcano along the east-west trending rift zones from the Miocene about 700,000 years ago was followed by a period of extensive erosion and possible edifice collapse. 2 steep-walled amphitheaters opened to south and central part of the island, late-stage eruptions scattered throughout the island, and the latest lasted until the Holocene, producing scoria cones and intracanyon lava flows, mantling rocks, and the older eroded edifice. The youngest activity in Madeira lies in the west-central part of the island and consists of cinder cones in the upper São Vicente Valley in a series of intercanyon flows, and a tephra layer on top of the Pau de Serra Plateau, dating not that far back, 6,500 years ago. So, that's our volcano. 6,500 years ago, the tephra layer. That's it. And let's go back again to get some details. Where were we? Okay. So a little bit of details on this. Here we are, right? It's around here. The Mediterranean region, seismically active due to the northward convergence of 4 to 10 millimeters a year of the African plate slamming into the Eurasian plate. And this conversion began about 50 million years ago and was associated with the closure of the Tethys Sea. The modern-day remnant of the Tethys Sea is the Mediterranean Sea right here. The highest rates of seismicity in the Mediterranean region are found along the Hellenic subduction arc right here, of the southern zone of southern Greece, and along the North Anatolian fault zone, which is right here, western Turkey, and the Calabrian subduction zone of southern Italy right here. The highest rates of convergence at the Hellenic subduction zone, 35 millimeters a year, which is pretty fast, and are associated with the back arc spreading throughout Greece and western Turkey. Above the subducting Mediterranean crust. Crustal normal faulting throughout this region manifest of extensional tectonics associated with back arc spreading and all this. But let's go to the quakes. Mediterranean region, written record several centuries long, documenting pre-industrial, pre-20th century earthquakes causing widespread damage across Cyprus, Greece, Sicily, Crete, the Nile Delta, northern Libya, the Atlas Mountains. The Atlas Mountains, as we know, are these here. These are the Atlas Mountains, yes? So that's quite close to the Canaries and the Azores. And the Iberian Peninsula. In 1903, the 8.2 Kythera earthquake. The 1926 magnitude 7.8 Rhodes earthquake. both of which associated with subduction zone tectonics. And between 1939 and 1999, devastating 7 structural earthquake North Anatolia in Turkey. Okay, the largest quakes of the Mediterranean have been known to produce significant damaging tsunamis, and this is one of the most prominent ones. Historical earthquakes in the region is Lisbon, November 1st, 1755. Lisbon right there. Lisbon right there. Lisbon right there. It's right on the coast, as you can see, Portugal. Right. So that was the tsunami that took place there, whose magnitude has been estimated from non-instrument data to be 8 magnitude. The 1755 Lisbon earthquake is thought to have occurred within or near the Azores Gibraltar Transform Fault, which defines the boundary between the African and Eurasian plates off the west coast of Morocco and Portugal. Okay, this is it right here. We saw that before, going through here. Yes. Now, the earthquake is notable for both a large death toll and for generating the tsunami that swept up Portuguese coast, inundating the coastal villages and Lisbon. An earthquake of approximately 8 magnitude near Sicily in 1693 generated large tsunamis as well, as you can see. So we have had very major earthquakes, but this, of course, as we know, is also volcanic. So obviously, this was a volcanic earthquake in an area of a subduction zone. What is this here? Let's see. Okay, that's it right there. Okay, that it also takes in that island there. It's an either this one here must be, or this one here. Okay, we're too far out. Okay, so this is what's happening here. I would not be surprised, because if it's such a huge earthquake. Remember what we saw with the Turkey 6.2, that the pressure went along the west, and it also hit the areas here and also the Azores, and that's about from the Euphrates River, where we had the 6.3 Euphrates triggers right there, up to here is about 3,500 miles. And we said, oh, the Azores are only 1,500 miles from the east coast. Right there. Oh, it's 2,000 miles. Okay, but it's closer than what Turkey was. And we said, are we going to have any earthquakes on the east coast? And we did. We did, after that Azores quake we had. So this is not far from there, and it's bigger than the 4.7 that we had in the Azores. So this is for 6.2. I would not be surprised if we have more jolting. They did not show us the, unfortunately, they do not show us the shaking. There's no shake map here. They did not show us a shake map, so we don't know what's happening with the shaking, but obviously we can understand how big it was. 6.2 is huge. Okay, especially in an area of volcanoes. I wouldn't be surprised if it hit all of this Azores and Canaries. And of course, earthquakes, these shaking jolts other areas as well. So that's what's happening there. 5.2 on USGS, 6.2 by the European Geological Survey. So I'm going to go, since it's in Europe, we're going to go with the 6.2 because that's what Europe says it is. I'll leave links below for you for this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.